Hello and welcome to my second video talking about the Activate SAP project management approach. Here we're going to go through this implementation project. It's talking about a new project to implement SAP S4 HANA. Starting from number 3, prepare, then explore, then realize, then deploy. In deploy, you will find the cutoff date in which the system live running transactions are being recorded. Now, the server readiness and installation. This task should have been in the prepare phase. We put this outside the prepare phase because it is time consuming and it can run in parallel with the other phases. If we go to the timeline of the project, we will find this server readiness and installation running in parallel with other tasks and phases of the project. So if you do not take care of these activities, always you will find problems when you need to start something that needs a physical server at the customer. If you are talking about on-premises server that is installed in the customer's site, not cloud. Of course, cloud needs some preparation, but it does not take that long time. For example, if you are importing the hardware of SAP HANA, this will take months, maybe from 6 weeks to 10 weeks to 12 weeks, according to the situation of exporting and exchanging goods among countries, which varies from time to time. So we will not start these technical activities before you receive the hardware and so on. Also, the installation has its own technical issues which needs time to be studied and sorted out, and people open requests to SAP when they find a problem and so on. All of these things will succeed at the end, or succeeds at the end in most of the projects. That's correct, but it is also correct that it takes time to finish. First thing is the technical solution design. Don't forget that the hardware requirements, the operating system, the technical aspects of the operating system needs to be designed. And accordingly, we will decide which hardware and with which specifications are we going to buy. So this takes time in discussions and deciding on the hardware needed for this project and how it will work. So here we will find something like design the technical solution, communicate that design to the customer, IT responsibles, because at the end, the hardware that you are going to buy for this project will end at the responsibility of the local IT of the customer. So they will need to understand and agree and accept this hardware design and to understand what is inside. Otherwise, they will not accept to take the responsibility of something that they do not know. They will need to know what exactly is it going to look like, how are they going to take support, is it from Dell, from IBM. It will depend also on a lot of their preferences. Some customers prefer working with Lenovo, with IBM, others with Dell, and so on. So it is something that will need time, and you will need to communicate with some parties at the customer side and take their approval. You have to make them understand what is this and why, to take their approvals and start working on a solid ground and to be confident that this will not create troubles for you in the future. We are talking about the technical solution design. In order to go through this task confidently, knowing what is inside, what is hidden, let's say, hidden inside, you need to know some information. In many cases, this starts the talking about and the discussions about the technical solution starts at the beginning of the project, during the selling phase, which in many cases starts before the project management phase. And in many cases also, the project manager joins the organization after the selling process has been completed. The reason for that is that the project manager is one of the costly elements or resources of the project. So in many cases, the customer decides to hire the project manager, if you are talking about the project manager from the customer side, after he agrees on a solution and he buys it and he has fixed dates for the starting of the project. Customers think like, we don't need a project manager sitting doing nothing, and this will cost us, and this will make the project manager himself not very happy. So because of that, you will find a lot of agreements have taken place before you join the organization. And the same thing if you are the project manager from the partner side. They do not hire project managers unless they have contracts signed by customers, in order to be sure that they are not very sure that this customer is going to be, or this prospect or this customer to be, is really going to be a customer before this customer signs a contract on, and maybe paid down payment and so on. Because of the same thing, they do not want the project manager stay doing nothing till they have the customer sign on the contract. If you are a project manager in an organization, maybe it is going to be better if you join the pre-sales activities and the discussions related to the technical solution, so you will be aware of what is going to happen, what is the solution, who is the provider, who is the hardware provider, who will be the local one, if you are going to buy Dell or IBM or whatever hardware you're going to buy. It is not only the manufacturer, it is also the vendor, the local vendor in your country that is going to provide all of this hardware on this timing. It is also, it costs also a lot of money. It is not something cheap. You will know when those are going to come, and maybe you will find some concerns. You may find some risks if this hardware delayed or something, or there is a problem that is preventing the delivery of this hardware. Maybe we need to change some of the components. If you join this stage from the early beginning of the project, during the selling process, it will be much helpful. But this does not happen normally in many organizations with the project managers that are already hired in these companies. The reason of that is because the project managers are always busy with their customers. So they prefer, the partners prefer to let the project managers focus on this, on their projects, especially because the projects are critical. Don't forget that the sales people are committed to have the contract of specific value. But the project manager is the one who will be responsible for really collecting this or these amounts of money. That means if the salesman did a great deal with the customer and the project manager and the project team did not manage to deliver what they have to deliver during each phase of the project, at the end of the phase, the partner will not find any money. Okay? And they will be surprised that the phase is going to take longer time and its deadline is not met, and all kind of problems that are related to the project management or the team performance of the partner, the team performance of the customer, all of these issues. So therefore, the partners also do not like to involve project managers in the selling activities in order not to confuse them or to consume their times away from their customers, which are already having projects. Anyway, if you start with the beginning of the project or after the project contract has been signed, you will most probably go through some of these activities or tasks, determining the hardware solution and the technical aspects of it, including operating systems and all of these things, because those are going to affect your phases. In many cases, you will find that these subjects are open during the prepare phase because it is not finished during the sales phase. It is also important for you to know that this hardware and its type and its operating system, people do not agree on that without referring to SAP. Either SAP sales representative or its site, the site of SAP, to verify that the hardware is accepted and approved by SAP, because it is going to carry the SAP software, and people do not, of course, want to find some problems because of incompatibility between the software and the hardware or any other related problems related to the platform of the hardware and the operating system and all of these things. Of course, here there is no problems from the database because it is HANA, and HANA is also a product of SAP, so it is not an issue. People are sure that they are buying a product of SAP, which is the database. But the other aspects needs to be checked and verified that they are accepted by SAP as hardware for the ERP of SAP S/4HANA. Thank you.